Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to check out Continental Express. It's a game for 2 to 4 players for ages 8 and up, with the average playtime being about 20 minutes. This game is very simple. It's a set collecting game that will task players with completing short and long-term objectives. Basically, they'll have these objective cards and they'll try to collect these train cars in order to match them. If they can claim objectives, they'll earn themselves some points, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game will win. So without further ado, let's take a brief look at the components and see how the game is played. Okay, so here's a very brief look at the components. Nothing fancy. Small cards here, long rectangular cards here, and these company tokens over here. In fact, what takes up the most space in the box itself is the box insert. So again, nothing really to this game. As far as what these different decks consist of, your small cards, you've got a few different things in that deck. In fact, I grabbed a few samples for you, so let's go ahead and focus in on this if we can. Okay. Now, there are different cards. There are these train cars here, and basically players will be trying to collect these in order to claim these short-term objectives up here. You've got these character cards, which basically, as soon as players pick them up, they'll be allowed to perform a special ability. You've got these two special event cards in the deck. One will refresh all of the small cards, and the other one will refresh all of the long rectangular cards. So that's that. You've got these banknotes. They do two things. One, if players hold on to them at the end of the game, they'll score some points. If they decide to use them during the game, they could buy small cards that they normally wouldn't be able to buy. Each column has a particular cost associated with it. The small cards at the end here cost nothing. The small cards in the middle cost 1 banknote, and the cards at the end on the left cost 2 banknotes. As far as your long rectangular cards, this card here is a player's contract card. And basically, actually no, this is a contract card, I'm sorry. This card is a card that players will get at the very beginning of the game, and this is sort of their long-term objective. They'll be trying to complete this particular objective in order to earn 2 points at the end of the game. There's a little company symbol here, and players can collect these company tokens throughout the game, like so. And players will also be able to earn these company tokens by completing these objective cards here, which also have a company token on it. This point value on the far right hand side will tell you how much that particular card is worth. So yeah, players will get this at the beginning of the game, and they'll be trying to earn that particular company symbol or logo, and if they manage to do so by the end of the game, then they'll score some extra points. No big deal. And as far as this card here, which are these objective cards up here, these are short-term objectives. Players will be trying to collect cars from here to complete whatever's on the card here. If they manage to do that, they'll earn themselves some points for the end of the game, and they'll also earn themselves a company logo. And like I said, that ties in with your contract card that players will get at the beginning of the game. Okay, now game setup is pretty simple. You'll take all of the small cards, shuffle them up, and put them into 3 separate decks like this. Then you'll deal 3 cards from each deck, so that these small cards form a 3x3 grid like this. You'll put the company tokens off to the right-hand side, or wherever you feel like, really. And then you'll take the short-term objectives, shuffle them up, and then deal 3 out like this. As far as the contract cards, what you're going to want to do is deal 2 to each player. Each player will choose 1 and throw the other one away. Any unused objectives, or contract cards rather, are put back in the box. And that's basically all there is to it. A player's turn is also pretty simple. The first thing you'll do is choose one of these small train cards. You have to pick one up. It's mandatory. And like I was saying, each column has a certain cost associated with it. These ones are free, these ones cost 1 banknote, and these ones cost 2 banknotes. Whenever a player picks up a card, these cards slide over like that, and a new one is drawn from the deck. If you happen to draw one of those 2 special event cards, the train accident or the fire station, you have to resolve its effects immediately. If you pick up a train car, you just simply put it in front of you until you get enough to claim one of these objectives up here. These character cards are used immediately. The banknotes can be held on to until you're ready to use them, or like I said, you can use them at the end of the game for extra points, that kind of thing. So once a player takes one of these 9 cards here, they'll have the option of completing an objective. Obviously, the player can't complete an objective until he has all of the required cards that are train cars that are listed on the short-term objectives cards. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the player here had enough train cars and matched one of the objective cards up here. The player will then take that, put it in front of them, discard any train cards that were required to complete this objective in the first place, and then just draw a new one. That's all there is to it. Okay, now this will continue back and forth until someone completes their fourth objective card. Whenever that happens, players will go ahead and compare points. To do that, they'll add up the number of points that they've earned via these short-term objectives up here. They'll also add up their contract card if they've happened to complete the objective here, add that to how many points they've earned so far, and they'll also add in any banknotes that they may have held on to for the entire game, and whoever has the most points will win. And there you have it, a very brief look at Continental Express. It's important to stress that I did not cover all of the rules in the manual, but this should give you the general idea. As far as what I thought, again, it's a very easy to play game. It only takes 20 minutes. And like I was saying, it's a set collecting game. So you're trying to collect certain train cars to complete these objectives, which tie into your contract card. So A leads to B leads to C kind of thing. So, yeah, it's not a bad game at all. Some people may find this a little light in terms of strategy, but that's exactly what this game is designed to do. It's not meant to be an hour-long experience. It's meant to be a quick filler game in between longer play sessions, or some people call it a micro game. And some people like me enjoy games like that because, you know, sometimes we just don't have a lot of time to actually play a longer game. So this fits the bill pretty well. So, with that being said, if you want to see my full review, you can. www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. If you haven't already, subscribed to my YouTube channel. That way you can keep up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.